All right. What do we have here? So the Amazon fires, okay? I went over this in the 3 o'clock hour. I feel that this is big enough for me to go over again. There's a couple of things that you have to understand. This is a common strategy in all sorts of news stories, all right? So you've got wildfires out west, okay? The wildfires out west are because of man-made global warming, and that's why they're so bad. Man's the reason that we did it. We got to do something to stop man from being so bad. And most of the time, they're really not. They're not caused by men. It does happen sometimes, but a lot of times they're naturally caused. And in the dry season, you're going to get those wildfires. But another thing that they do is they go, these have increased exponentially. And then you end up looking at the data and you find out that they haven't been increasing. They're actually at pretty average rates. They do this with guns. Mass shootings are on the rise. No, they're not. They're literally not on the rise. They have been at a consistent rate for decades. Criminologists have been saying this for many, many, many years. There is absolutely no data that shows an increase in mass shootings. On average, there's 22 per year. In 2019, right now, we're at 19. Which is less than the year before, which is less than the year before that, which is less than the year before that. And all of them are less than 2008. So again, too many of them happen, don't get me wrong, but for decades, it has remained relatively average. We just cover them differently now. So they push this narrative that things are getting worse, everything is bad, and it's not. You look at the hard data and you end up finding out that it's not true. There's a lot of fake news associated with this Amazon thing, and it's frankly disturbing. It's not surprising, but I also wanted a lot of you to hear about it because when you look at what's been happening with the Amazon, people are freaked out, right? Everybody loves the rainforest. They may not like going to the rainforest because it tries to kill you, but there is very real things that people are they're drawn to with the rainforest. They know how beneficial it is. They know how important it is, obviously. And, you just don't like seeing something that awesome, burn. So when there's all of these stories about the rainforest is literally disappearing, you've got every celebrity you can think of running around and running their mouth about it and posting pictures of it. You've got the G7 getting involved, and you've got everybody demonizing Brazil because, remember, this is all because of Brazil. Well, yeah. Turns out that the president of Brazil is demanding that the French president, Macron, apologize for lying about the Brazilian people. See, on August 27th, Brazil's president, Bolsonaro, rejected $22.2 million in an aid package from the G7 to help fight the fires raging through the Amazon rainforest. Except the fires aren't raging in the Amazon rainforest, and I'll get to that in just a minute. Because I know some of you are going, Casey, what in the world are you up to? How much tinfoil do you have on now? But if you hear the facts, you're going to start to understand it's not what you've been told, okay? The president of Brazil said that unless the French president, Macron, retracts some comments that he made and the president of Brazil regards as offensive, they would not accept the aid offer. Bolsonaro said that Macron has to take back some of his remarks and then we can speak. And he went in to kind of, talk about some of it. I'm not going to go into great detail. I did in the 3 o'clock hour. If you want, go back and listen to the 3 o'clock hour in the podcast or on the live stream, and you will be able to hear some of that. Although I did have my audio messed up because a coworker did something extremely strange to my audio earlier in the day. And so the first segment of the show on the live stream is no audio, and I apologize about that. So now, the president of France, Macron, and several celebrities, including Leonardo DiCaprio, went out there and were posting a bunch of photos of the Amazon rainforest fire. The problem is that the photos are fake. They're not real. I should say, okay, let me rephrase that. They're real photos of real fires, just not what's happening in the Amazon now. And in fact, one of the photos, which is the most viral of them, that is the one that Macron sent out, was taken by a photographer who died in 2003. And you can look at the photo. It's a good photo, don't get me wrong, but you can look at the photo and it clearly is not up to modern photography standards. But Macron went ahead and he sent it out. They're all using the exact same language. The lungs of our planet are burning. They keep using that. But when they're sharing these photos, because these aren't accurate photos, There's a bunch of people who see this and go, oh my God, the rainforest is on fire. Now, first of all, the rainforest catches on fire every single year. We're not even in peak fire season yet. That happens in mid to late September. Okay, so there are fires that happen in the Amazon on a regular basis every single year. And obviously, you don't want the Amazon to burn down, but fire is also a normal, natural, and healthy process for any forest. What the issue is that the fire reports about the Amazon have been completely distorted. It's not just the fake photos. There are fires. It's just that they're not in the rainforest. We'll talk about that next. So pay very close attention to what I'm going to tell you in the next segment, because I know that some of you are going, everybody tells me that the Amazon's on fire. It's not really true, though. I mean, it's partially true, but it's not nearly what they're saying. And there hasn't been an increase in fires in the Amazon. There hasn't been 72,000 fires in the Amazon, Leonardo DiCaprio. There has not been an 84% increase in fires in the Amazon this year. That has not happened, okay? That's all fake news. And I'm going to tell you what's really happening and why everybody's kind of confused about all of this in the next segment coming up on 95.3 MNC. All right, what do we have here? The Amazon rainforest. So the president of Brazil has asked the president of France to apologize for lying. The president of France and a bunch of celebrities have been posting fake photos of the Amazon rainforest fire. And Gregory Whitestone wrote a whole commentary on how these headlines, like that you'll see at CNN, Amazon rainforest burning at record rates. New York Daily News writer said the Amazon rainforest is burning. Be afraid. There's a bunch of headlines about that. And then again, you get the fake photos running around of the fire. They're not true, okay? A lot of people are basing this off of Brazil's National Institute for Space Research. Now, what you need to understand is when somebody says, historically, this is the biggest fire season that we've ever had, the National Institute for Space Research was not set up to calculate the number of fires. It was set up as an early warning system for the Brazilian government to let them know if there is going to be a high risk of fire, so that way they can act before it gets out of control. The other issue with the Brazil National Institute for Space Research is that it only has fire data going back to 2013. So if you're going to cite it and it says record data for our system, it only goes back 6 years. So that's not any serious historical significance, obviously. That's kind of like when people say, this is the hottest year on record. The record is only 30 years old. So stop. And it's not the hottest even in that category, but I digress. So anyway, so what do we have here? If you go to NASA's data, and NASA, they actually, because a lot of people are sharing the photo that NASA posted, because obviously with the ISS and everything else, NASA took a picture of the Amazon rainforest fire, okay? And people are sharing that photo. And, it looks ugly. Smoke travels, okay? You would be, 100 miles away from a wildfire where I'm from, and it would be smoke all over your town. So it's very normal for the smoke to travel. It doesn't mean that's where all of the flames are, and it's important that you understand that. So NASA they put a picture up of the Amazon rainforest fire. People are sharing it. People are freaking out about it. Nobody has been sharing, I shouldn't say nobody, most people are not sharing the caption that goes with that photo. So the caption states, as of August 16, 2019, an analysis of NASA's satellite data indicated that the total fire activity across the Amazon basin this year has been close to the average in comparison to the past 15 years. Okay, so the system that does track fires, which is NASA's system, not the Brazilian system, the system that does track fires says that there is no 84% increase in fires. It's at average rates. In fact, they mentioned that there's two areas of the Amazon which have an increased fire rates, and then there is two or three. There's two that are below average. So two are above average in fires this year. Two are below average. Now, we're not peak fire season yet. That happens in September. So anyway, the overall numbers are pretty much in line with historic data that goes back to 2003, which isn't all that much, but is way more back in time than the Brazilian data, which only goes back to 2013. So anyway, let's see. What is it? Ranchers have used fire to clear the forest as much as it's much easier than felling the timber. An estimated that up to 15% of the original forest has been cleared in this manner. Now, why is this important? The fires burning now are the farmers burning their own farmland again to reset the land. They do this periodically every few years. It's not virgin rainforest that the farmers are burning, but I've seen the headlines and I've seen celebrities go out there and post this, Joe Rogan included, since he's coming up in the live stream, saying that these farmers are going out there and they're burning the rainforest. They're not. They are burning their farmland and the grasslands that have already been cleared for decades for farmland. And you do this to reset the land. It's healthy for the land to do this. And that's what's burning. Now, there are fires in the Amazon rainforest right now. Those are different. Those are natural cause. It's not what we're dealing with these farmers, but people are running around and pretending that the farmers have set the virgin rainforest on fire, and they have not. And so it's important that you understand a couple of things. Celebrities and even the president of France are posting fake photos of the fires. These are fires that are not related to the current fire season at all in any way, shape, or form. So they're not real. They're not accurate. The Brazilian system is set up as an early warning system, and they will duplicate the count of fires. That is routine. They duplicate the count of fires in order to better predict where there are hot spots. And so some fires are being counted multiple times in the system. And the system's data only goes back to 2013. So anybody who is telling you that there's been an 84% increase in Amazon rainforest fires this year is not telling you the truth. Probably because they're too ignorant to understand what they're doing. But a lot of those people are very influential. They're political. They're politicians. They're celebrities, etc. And right now, the Amazon rainforest fires are at average levels. And the fires that we're talking about right now are farmers who are burning their own land again, as they periodically do every few years, not virgin rainforest. So a lot of lies have been happening as a result of the media coverage of this. And a lot of it stems from ignorance, but some of it stems from misinformation as well. Hannity's up next. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, this is Dwayne Miller with Good Faith